You have been told that carbohydrates are the enemy. Tonight, we test that claim with real science. We will separate refined sugar and ultra-processed foods from whole grains, beans, fruit, and vegetables. We will compare low-carb and low-fat for weight loss and belly fat. We will fix energy crashes with smart meal pairing. We will look at heart, liver, and gut health and what really moves the needle. We will also cover special cases like diabetes, athletes, kids, pregnancy, and kidney disease. Stay until the end for a practical bonus you can use tomorrow. Disclaimer: this is educational content, not medical advice. Your needs may differ. Talk to a licensed professional for personal guidance. Next, how did the idea carbs are bad go viral in the first place? Low-carb books and headlines promised fast fat loss by blaming insulin for everything. Early water and glycogen loss looked like magic. According to the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health, the public then mixed up refined sugars with whole food carbohydrates. One is candy and soda, the other is beans, oats, and fruit. Very different effects. A review in Frontiers in Nutrition journal explains that strong claims often traveled faster than balanced evidence. The result was a simple villain story that felt good but ignored context. So what do official guidelines really say? Let us align on definitions and targets before we judge any diet. The United States dietary guidelines allow 45 to 65% of calories from carbohydrates when the focus is on quality foods. The American Heart Association advises keeping added sugars under 10% of calories, and even lower is better. Both the American Heart Association and the United States Dietary Guidelines recommend about 25 to 38 grams of fiber per day. The World Health Organization stresses vegetables, fruits, legumes, and whole grains as primary carb sources. The message is not zero carbs. The message is smart carbs, smart portions. Next, quick definitions so we speak the same language. Buys. A whole grain keeps the bran, germ, and endosperm in their original proportions, says the United States Dietary Guidelines. Free or added sugars include table sugar, honey, syrups, and sugars in fruit juice, according to the World Health Organization. Glycemic index means how fast a food raises blood sugar. Glycemic load adds portion size to that speed, says the American Diabetes Association. Ultra-processed foods are industrial products with many additives and little fiber, discussed by FAO and WHO. With terms set, let us test the biggest claim. Does low-carb beat low-fat for weight and belly fat? According to a meta-analysis published in the journal Nutrients, low-carb diets have a small edge of about 1 to 2 kilograms at 6 to 12 months. But the large Diet Fits trial in the Journal of the American Medical Association found no meaningful difference at 12 months when calories and protein were similar, with both groups losing around 5 to 6 kilograms. The real driver was calorie reduction and sticking to the plan, not the macro label. If this is useful, please tap subscribe so you do not miss our next evidence-based breakdown. Now, what about the promise to melt belly fat faster? Both low-carb and low-fat reduce waist size when weight drops, as reported in the Journal of the American Medical Association. Early drops on strict low-carb are often water and glycogen, not just fat, as shown in cell metabolism studies. Over months, the plan you can keep beats the plan you quit. That means food preference, social fit, and budget matter. Next, let us fix energy crashes by using glycemic index, glycemic load, fiber, and pairing. According to a review in the journal Nutrients, low glycemic index and low glycemic load eating leads to steadier blood sugar, better blood pressure, and improved lipids, especially in prediabetes and type 2 diabetes. A paper in Diabetes Care shows that adding protein or healthy fat to carbs slows stomach emptying and blunts glucose spikes. The American Journal of Clinical Nutrition reports that fiber acts like time release for carbs, lowering peaks and crashes. So how do we apply that on a normal plate? Pick intact carbs most of the time. Oats, quinoa, brown rice, beans, lentils, and whole fruit. The American Diabetes Association supports these choices for better glycemic control. Pair carbs with protein or fat, fruit with nuts, toast with eggs, or rice with beans. Diabetes. Care Journal shows these combos reduce spikes and cravings. Watch portion size to control glycemic load, since even low glycemic foods can spike blood sugar if portions are large. Now, let us check heart markers like triglycerides, HDL, LDL, and ApoB. The Nutrients Journal meta-analysis found low-carb diets often lower triglycerides and raise HDL compared with low-fat. However, some people on very low-carb or ketogenic diets see large rises in LDL and ApoB, documented in Current Developments in Nutrition Journal. That matters because ApoB carries atherogenic particles. The American Heart Association notes that soluble fiber from oats, barley, and legumes can lower LDL. Takeaway: do not ignore your lipid panel. If LDL or ApoB climb on strict keto, adjust fats and carbs. Next, blood pressure and fatty liver. The American Heart Association reports that cutting sugary drinks and added sugars helps lower blood pressure and triglycerides. Diabetes. Care Journal shows that high fructose loads increase liver fat, while reducing sugars lowers markers of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Diet patterns like DASH and Mediterranean, which include fiber-rich carbs, lower blood pressure and improve metabolic health according to the American Heart Association. Long-term, what does the big picture say about risk and longevity? A large analysis in the Lancet journal found that higher dietary fiber intake is linked to about 15 to 30% lower risk of cardiovascular disease and death. Research in diabetes. Care shows that frequent sugar-sweetened beverages raise type 2 diabetes risk, while replacing them with water or unsweetened drinks lowers risk. A study in the BMJ links higher whole fruit and whole grain intake with better outcomes over time. The pattern is clear: quality carbs protect. Now, let us talk about gut health and constipation relief. According to the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, increasing fiber to around 25 to 30 grams per day improves stool frequency and comfort. Insoluble fiber like wheat bran adds bulk. Soluble fiber like psyllium and beta-glucan forms a gel that softens stools. The journal Gut Microbes reports that diverse plant fibers feed beneficial bacteria and increase short-chain fatty acids that support the gut lining. If this helps, please subscribe so we can keep sharing practical, science-based guides. Up next, fruit versus sugary drinks. Diabetes care. Journal links sugar-sweetened beverages to weight gain and higher diabetes risk because liquid sugar does not trigger fullness. A study in the BMJ shows that whole fruit is not soda. Fiber, water, and chewing slow sugar entry and increase satiety, while fruit juice behaves more like a sweetened drink. Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health advises choosing whole fruit most days and keeping juice small if used at all. Next, what about non-nutritive sweeteners like sucralose or stevia? A clinical trial in the journal Obesity showed that swapping sugar for non-nutritive sweeteners can help some people reduce calories and lose weight. A paper in the journal Cell and follow-ups in Gut Microbes suggest responses vary by person and sweetener, possibly through the microbiome. Many diabetes groups, including the American Diabetes Association, say these sweeteners can be a bridge away from sugar, but water remains the best default. Now, the elephant in the room. Ultra-processed foods. In a tightly controlled NIH study published in Cell Metabolism Journal, adults on an ultra-processed diet ate about 500 extra calories per day and gained about 0.9 kilograms in 2 weeks, while the unprocessed diet led to weight loss. Foods were matched for calories and nutrients. The big differences were speed of eating, softness, low fiber, and hyper-palatable flavors. The fix is simple but powerful. Swap ultra-processed carbs for whole food carbs. Next, what if you have type 2 diabetes? A systematic review in the BMJ found that low-carb and very low-carb diets can lower A1C more and lead to higher remission at 6 months. By 12 months, the advantage narrows as adherence falls. The American Diabetes Association and European partners state that Mediterranean and DASH patterns also improve A1C, blood pressure, and lipids, and may be easier to sustain. Monitor LDL and ApoB on strict keto. Work with your clinician to personalize fats, carbs, and medications. Now, athletes and active people. The International Society of Sports Nutrition explains that carbohydrates fuel moderate to high-intensity exercise and support recovery. A study in the Journal of Physiology found that elite race walkers on very low carb had reduced exercise economy and performance compared with high carb. Some ultra-endurance athletes tolerate lower carbs, but most speed and power work improves with adequate carbs. Strategy: match carbs to training and time carbs around hard sessions. Special groups remain kids, pregnancy, kidney disease, and eating disorder risk. The Institute of Medicine recommends a minimum daily carbohydrate intake in pregnancy to support fetal brain development. The American Diabetes Association advises moderation and low glycemic choices rather than extreme carb cutting for most. The American Journal of Kidney Diseases warns that very low-carb, high-protein plans may not suit chronic kidney disease without close medical care. The Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics cautions that fear-based messages about carbs can trigger disordered eating. Balanced habits beat food fear. Ready for your practical bonus? Swap white rice for a half-and-half mix of brown rice and lentils. This adds fiber and protein for low cost, according to Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health. Replace soda with sparkling water plus a slice of citrus, as the American Heart Association suggests. Trade a pastry breakfast for oats with fruit and yogurt or peanut butter. The United States dietary guidelines support oats as a high-fiber, low-cost staple. For snacks, try air-popped popcorn, fruit with nuts, or beans on toast. Simple, cheap, and satisfying. One more thing. Your takeaways. First, quality beats fear. Whole food carbs support health, while refined sugars and ultra-processed foods drive risk, according to WHO and NIH research. Second, low-carb and low-fat tie by 12 months when calories and protein are similar, says the Journal of the American Medical Association and the journal Nutrients. Third, use low glycemic choices, fiber, and protein or fat pairing to prevent energy crashes, as shown in Diabetes Care and the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. Fourth, aim for about 25 to 38 grams of fiber daily for heart, liver, and gut benefits, supported by the American Heart Association and The Lancet. Final disclaimer: this is educational content, not medical advice. Your needs are unique. Please comment below with the next nutrition myth you want us to bust, and share what you want to learn next.